I'm going to show you how to create some beautiful textured buns on Gwen's hair. Gwen has got very fine hair, so I'm going to prep her hair first of all using a little bit of mousse and some salt spray to get some extra volume and oomph and a little bit of texture into the hair, and then we'll be ready to start styling. If you're working with somebody who has thicker, kind of coarse hair, then you can probably eliminate the mousse and the salt spray, so you can eliminate the texturizing stage of the styling and go straight onto the styling process. So I'm going to section Gwen's hair. You shouldn't really need to spend more than 10 minutes on this stage, maybe 15. And we're going to start getting some bit of root lift and some texture in the hair. That's beginning to feel much better now. This also works well if you are working with somebody who maybe has just washed their hair, so the hair is very soft and silky. So even if the hair is quite thick and coarse, if the hair is very soft from being over conditioned, then you can always use a little bit of the mousse, the salt spray, to just give you a little bit of manageability in the hair. We want the hair to look soft and gorgeous and silky and shiny, but we don't want it to be too soft. It makes it more difficult for us to style the hair. So this is going to be the last section that I texturise. I'm going to leave these little soft bits down at the front here, and we can come back and work with those once we've created the style. So we've got the texture in the hair, so now we'll start styling. So now we've got some texture in the hair, we're going to get a bit of curl and a bit of movement in the hair. Then I'm going to show you how to create some different looking buns at the back of the hair. So we'll just section the hair first. We've got a little bit of mousse and the salt spray in there now, so it's a little bit more difficult to separate, but it'll be much easier to work with when it comes to styling the hair. Now I'll do another section here. Now I'm not going to do really small sections of hair because I just want to get some movement. Let me just go from the tip of each ear, join those fingers together to get my first section. I'm using quite large sections of hair because I don't want a definite curl, but I just want to get some movement in the hair. I'm going to get some shine back in the hair with the Style and Care lotion and then start curling. Actually, you know what, I might use this whole section. Gwen has got quite fine hair, so I can use much bigger sections. Because as I say, we don't need a definite curl, but we just want some movement in the hair. So I'm using the vintage curl technique, but you could just as easily use your reverse wind, or you could even do reverse wind with a twist to get that nice little kind of beachy looking wave. I might just pin that in position actually. If I did want to go for a definite curl, then I would need to use much smaller sections. Or if my lady had very thick hair, my client had thick, heavy hair, then again I would use smaller sections. Separate this crown section into 3. Normally we'd do it with 4 if we were using our heated rollers, but here with the 3 sections on the crown, we have one kind of at an angle coming down into the centre, as if it's a kind of inverted triangle here. So we've got one section here, another there, and another there. So we've got the crown, that semicircle of the crown area. We're going to curl in order to get a little bit of height here actually, which we do want. I'm going to back comb at the crown here a little bit. Close down near the root of the crown, near the root of the hair. That's better. A little bit of hairspray on there. Prep a prime on the ends. Smooth that through. Then in order to get that root lift, I can push that hair forwards. So these buns do need some root lift here on the crown. So this is where we're going to start creating that look. And I'm going to push the hair forward just to help to get the root lift here on the crown. That's it, and then we'll curl, keeping the tongs forwards as if we were working with the heated rollers, so where the hair goes forwards at that 45-degree angle. And create our curl. Secure that in position. Do our other sections on the crown. So our two triangles, our two sections either side of the triangle. So a little bit of back combing. Start at the bottom, go up the ladder a few steps and go back down to the bottom of the ladder. A little bit of spray. You do want to make sure that the back combing is nice and compact all the way down to the root. Create that height on the crown and curl. We're going to be leaving some of these little bits down, so we don't necessarily want to curl all this hair, but it won't do it any harm to have a little bit of a curl, a little bit of movement in there. A little bit of the prep and prime. Let's move that out of your face, I think, Gwen, for you. Doesn't want to move, does it? No. Let's get that in there. Give it a bit of a curve, a bit of movement. So we have our curls in and secured in place. We've got a little bit of texture in the hair, a little bit of back combing here at the crown. So now let's take the hair out and start to get a little bit of extra oomph and volume here. So just lifting the curls, volumizing everything. And the good thing about using the tongs, of course, is that you can work quite quickly with the hair. So once you've curled the hair, you're then ready to start styling more or less straight away, because we start our curls at the bottom. So by the time we've got to the top here, the curls here at the back are all cooled down, so you can start working straight away. We're going to start our work on the crown. Make sure we get our little sectiony pieces of hair. Just have a little bit of our list control cream just on the back of my hand. And now let's start to work with our sections of hair here and create a lovely piecey looking style. Work with all our sections. So you're just going to position the hair a little piece at a time. So once you've got the hair, all the hair out of the sections, I'm just going to start working with the hair from the front and bringing everything back. Just make sure you're happy with it and you can't see any back combing. It's better when you're happy with the first few little bits. You can pop some grips just across there, quite low down. And then let's work with the other sections. Loosen a few of these little bits here. Bring your next section back and secure with a bobby pin. I might even find that for Gwen's hair, because the hair's quite fine, I can get away with using the silhouette. But you don't want to make it too wet. That's it. Side sections. Have a think about which bits you want down. I can bring the hair back. We'll pop a grip just at the back, close to the scalp. Make sure you're happy with where everything's positioned. And once you've got the front and the sides back, then we can start creating our buns. If you're finding it a little bit difficult to pull with your fingers, you can always go in and try your tail comb to pull out little sections of hair. But just be careful you don't get too much out. So we have our little, it's almost a half up, half down style. And we could leave it there. We've got the hair's all nicely textured. We've got lots of movement and airiness here. But now let's create some different little buns. The first style I'm going to do is just a little simple low roll. So what I've done, I'm just going to put a little bit of the styling care spray through the hair and just a little bit of styling cream underneath here, just to separate the hair and make it look a little bit sectiony. Maybe just on the ends so they don't look fly away. And for this little low roll, it's going to be very easy. We've got a little row of bobby pins here already, but if you feel like you don't have enough of an anchor here, you can always add a couple of another extra little bobby pin at the back here. Just like that. And we're just going to quickly roll the hair into a little twist. Using those bobby pins at the back there as our anchor. Pop them through vertically. Just going through the hair, back and behind the bobby pin. And then everything's really lovely and secure. If you wanted this a little bit lower, then of course you can just bring your little row of grips a little bit lower. Tweak and pull just the ends of the hair. And now we could put a little band, I think, on the end of the hair here, just to hold this together. So when we tuck it away, I can kind of loosen it without it all falling apart. So a little band on there, twist that around and grip that in position. That's it. Then we can just loosen little bits as we want to. And we've got our first little roll. Loosen and tweak the hair. You can always move the little row of grips a little bit lower so the roll is lower down in the nape of the neck, just depending on the position. So just adjust the position of your anchor depending on where you'd like the roll to sit. So now we'll create a little low chignon, almost like a little kind of soft pleat. So So we'll just leave the top half in. We don't need to change any of that. So if you were doing this for a trial run, then they're really good styles to try different looks easily. So I'll put a little band on the bottom to keep everything quite loose. And we're just going to roll the hair over to the side and create a nice kind of fat, low roll. Just bring those edges in, roll. That elastic band will just help you to hold the hair together a little bit. That's the one. So I'm going to roll that, take that to the side, use my bobby pins at the back of the pleats. Just holding that in so you can feel those pins going in underneath your fingers. You could go in, keep that bobby pin closed and go across the vertical pins that we have there. Might need to pull that in a little bit here at the bottom, I think. That's better. So if you're doing this for a trial, that's better. You can kind of do these fairly quickly. But if we're doing this for a wedding day, of course, we'd need to take our time. Play and loosen the hair to get your lovely textured finish. And then we could maybe just pop a little sparkly bit in using our up and over. And there we've got our lovely little low roll. So now what we want to do, we're back to our starting point, our halfway house, and I just want to lose some of the flyaway look to the hair. And then what we're going to do is just separate the hair into two and twist the hair just around each section, twist around the other, just loosely. And then we're going to start positioning the hair and we'll create a soft little bun this way. So we've got our first section here. And we'll use a bobby pin here, just at the back of the hair, so where your finger, or your thumb in my case, is holding the hair against the head. That's where you're going to slide that bobby pin in. Keep an eye in the mirror. You might need more than one, so don't worry about the ends. We'll come back and secure the ends in a second. Let's just make sure that this first bit of the hair here is nice and secure. So now I'm going to put a bobby pin in. Keeping the bobby pin closed, you can kind of feel your way and go across the bobby pin that you've already got in there. And then we'll twist a little bit more and secure the next section. And then we just keep going and loosely pin. And we get a lovely, soft, little low bun. And once it's all in, it's almost like a little soft rosette. And in a minute we're going to start loosening and pulling out the bun. When working with heavy hair, you can put a ponytail in the hair before you separate the two sections and then create the bun. If you find the hair isn't quite holding the positions you want to, you could move up a gear. So you could go onto your setting lotion, or if you want to go to the top gear, to the strongest holding spray, you could use your session 3. I would recommend, if you were practicing this style on one of your practice heads, you can definitely get away with using your L-net, especially on the practice heads, because the hair is quite coarse and it will hold really well with just a light hairspray. The softer and silkier the hair, you might find the stronger the spray you need. And there we have our lovely, soft, delicious looking bun. And this time I think what we'll do is we'll get our hair and we'll just put a braid in the hair. Just even out, make sure our sections are even, and we're going to braid the hair here. And just loosely braid. Don't need to pull the hair out down at the bottom, so it will wrap around itself just a little bit, and then we're going to twist that through. That's it. And grab a little bit of hair and we'll just push. We do have one of these styles done on somebody with much longer hair in our quick video section. That's it. And we can loosen out and create another little soft style here at the back. Use our bobby pin just to secure that in. So these are great styles for bridesmaids, or for a bride who wants a very soft looking style. We can pull this out and just secure these sections where we think they look good. Making sure all our pins are hidden. And we've got another lovely, different looking low bun. Just from one foundation, which is getting the back in position and the sides in position, we can then play with the hair at the back to create lots of different looks. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, just click like and subscribe and join me on my next video.